Sorry.
Another way to begin the story would be to start from the end. There's nothing left of the dream I persisted. No way to go back again. I want you to save me from myself. Save me from myself. Save me from myself. But won't you tear me down and build me up again? Save me from myself. Save me from myself. Save me from myself. We don't belong together, so I bother. When I surrender to being useless, I am unable to breathe. I can't make out what is real or fancy. No waking up from this dream. I want you to save me from myself. Save me from myself. Save me from myself.
I've been doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on the show. Appreciate it. Hey, first thing I want to say is you're gonna get a lot of pissed off people because you have Phil Collins guest host on here. They're gonna they're gonna open this up and be like, who the fuck is this guy? Who's this jackass? Ain't Phil Collins. They can't hear us. Oh man.
Right there. All right. What about now? What about now? Phil, say something for him.
Hey, this ain't the same Phil Collins from Genesis, all right? So I hope y'all wasn't expecting a superstar to show up.
I hear you both now. Okay. All right. Sometimes, all right. So we're going to start this all over again. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Alpha Bro Show. I had a great intro for Phil. I'm going to fucking do it again. So, Phil, just like I brought him in the show, kicking and screaming just like he did when he was a new boy and you showed up at my firehouse. I took him in my massive arms. I wiped his tears. I changed his diaper, and I said, "It's all right, new boy. I got you. You're with the fucking Dragon Slayer now. I'm gonna show you the motherfucking way." All right, just like, hey, Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian. Nah, dog, that was me and fucking Phil years ago. We should sue that fucking concept because I was the motherfucking Mandalorian. Fucking Phil was Baby Yoda. And look at him now. Look at him now. All right, guys. No, really. So if in case you didn't get that, Phil, firefighter paramedic with Louisville Fire Department. He was a 10-year paramedic with EMS.
I was 12 years there, but 6 years in the paramedic.
Okay, 12 years on EMS, and he came over to the suppression side. His life has never been better in his entire existence. And now he is at the mighty Squirt 17. Oh my goodness. He is all, oh, look at him. He's all, I should wear my Engine 6 hat. God damn it. I should wear my Engine 6 hat. Because that was so just to let you know, that was a big topic of debate at the picnic on Monday. Was the best firehouse in the city. And it was Engine 6 guys versus Squirt 17 guys. Clint Algar was kind of like your all's representative. Like he was, oh man, he was fighting hard. He went down fighting. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to say who won, but he went down fighting.
You just need backup there. That's all.
That's all he needed, wasn't it? He did a good job by himself, though, I have to admit. How you like it, man? How you like 17s?
Man, I love it, man. I've learned a lot since I've been there.
Sure.
A lot of interesting stuff. Obviously, a lot more interesting mid calls. It's a pretty rough part of town. So I knew what to expect when I was, sent out there. But I love it, man. That's a great firehouse. I have a great crew.
Yeah.
Love the guys I work with. I'm really, really lucky there because, as we all know, the crew can make or break the time at the firehouse. Yeah.
It could destroy your time, especially when you're spending 24 hours with a bunch of individuals that you don't like or don't want to work with. I mean, it makes for a fucking long shift. It really does.
Absolutely. I agree.
And that was the basis of my argument with Engine 6. I think I'm not for sure, but I think all three platoons at 17s are still pretty solid from what I understand. I still keep my ear to the ground a little bit on you guys. I gotta make sure y'all representing and shit, or I'm gonna have to come and chew some ass. But Engine 6 when I was there, on all three platoons, like I just felt like every ship was rock starish. Like you take any one of these guys and put them in another house, they're a fucking superstar. You know what I mean? Like it was a bunch of Michael Jordans, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we all kind of made each other better. So on all three shifts, and I don't know of any firehouse still to this day that had the level of talent, firefighting experience, and guys that just really got after it than Engine 6 did in a very, it was a 6 to 8 year window, honestly.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I was there 13 years, but, and it was always good, but there was a moment in time where it was just stellar. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but so when Phil, just for transparency's sake, when Phil came to Quintin, we don't do a lot. Quintin doesn't do a lot. But you did make some pretty good fires there.
I will still say that's to the guys at 17 so far. My two biggest fires have still been at Quintin, which was my very first fire.
Right.
Then that big fire I had right before I got moved. I like there was some butt kickers. Was that the apartment fire? Yes. With
that was your first fire, right?
My first big fire. Yeah.
That was a good one.
It was a good one. And then that apartment fire we had right before I got moved out. Overall for the Terrell Lane.
Yep.
That was another big one.
Bashford Manor and Terrell Lane.
Right.
Right.
So we might get more fires,
Right.
But those two were still the biggest ones I've had so far.
I'm telling you. So like, I started my career in the 4th, went to 6s, went to 22s first, then the 6s, then I went back to Quintin. The biggest fires to this day have been when I was in the 4th.
Right.
Now, I have to caveat that we made a fire off of Eastern Parkway from 22nd Street and Portland Avenue. We
No
were there
kidding.
eating fucking blizzards.
No kidding.
And we got a call to Hill Road. And we were like, thought dispatch fucked up. They meant Hill
Yeah.
Street.
Right. Right.
Well, no, it was Hill Road. And we're back there Googling it. And Doug Pedersen's driving fucking like a maniac. Rain's coming down. He can't see. I thought we were going to fucking die before we got there. And I'm like, man, this is off of fucking Eastern Parkway out by me. Like, it's close to Eastern Parkway and Goss.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck, man, I live down the road from this. I was like, man, go this way, And I remember Josh was in the back going, man, we're going to get canceled before we get there. And I'm like, yeah, I think we will too. Second engine in.
No kidding.
Oh, my God. Big 3 story. Yeah, the people that were on the Hill Road fire, they remember to this day. Jeff Taylor, John Luker, who was the captain of Engine 11, who retired after that fire. When we got there, that motherfucker was laying in the yard rolling around. I was masking up trying to ask him what we had inside, and he couldn't even talk to me.
Wow.
He was like, it's upstairs. Oh, yeah. Fuck it, John. I'll fucking find out, dude. So, and that's also the fire that I told they hit the evacuation tone on. And guys, we had been on the 3rd floor, couldn't find shit. This motherfucker was rolling somewhere. We couldn't find it. So we go down the 2nd floor, and I remember it was Josh. He said, hey, man, because I had a plaster hook. He goes, hey, man, punch a hole in this knee wall right here. So we punch a hole in the knee wall. Fire just blew out of it. And, knee walls are the fucking devil in any building.
Right.
And I was like, oh, shit, here it is. We need a line down here. We get a line. The evacuation tones are going off. Everybody's like, man, we got to get out of here. And I said, hey, tell Fredericks to keep his fucking panties on. We got this motherfucker. I feel like we're going to walk out of this fucking house, the concrete heroes, Motherfuckers are going to be throwing flowers and bitches be throwing panties when we walk out. We walk out, and I hear the radio transmission. I have heavy fire still on the 3 side. And I'm like, what? I turn around. The whole other side of the house, this is a big-ass house. The whole other side of the house was fucking rocking and rolling. And I looked at Jimmy Fredericks, and he looked at me and goes, still want me to put my panties back on? And I went, nah, Mage, good call. Like, thanks for saving my ass,
Those words, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So let me get your perspective from going from EMS. So was the fire department everything you thought it would be? Or did it exceed or not? And be honest, like no one's gonna think anything less of you if you say, well, this was a little bit, it didn't meet my expectations, but this exceeded. You know what I mean?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't really have a bunch of expectations. Obviously, the main one was not having to work overtime all the time. And not getting my teeth kicked in every fucking shift. Right. MS, you're working overtime every day. You don't have the option. You're working it every day, and you're getting the teeth kicked in for those 16, 17 hours straight. So those are the main 2 things. I was burnt out. I was extremely burnt out. So I didn't really have a lot of expectations. So, but for the most part, yes. And there are some things that are a little disappointing. But, I come in, you kind of expect a lot more camaraderie, and you have that to a certain extent, but you also have the it's like any other atmosphere, whether it's sports or whatever. You're gonna have the infighting, you're gonna have the meaningless bickering, the stuff that you see on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Jersey Shore, bullshit like that. Which I feel like, I'm in my 30s. I'm like, I'm past that point, man. We most of us should be too old for that crap. But, I think a lot of it, a lot was boring. Sometimes guys get bored. They're
Oh,
gonna
for sure.
find something. They're gonna find something. They're gonna nitpick every little thing you do. It could be a minor mistake, and it's gonna be blown out the water. I made a wrong turn on that street, and it took them an extra 5 seconds to get to the fire. It's
Right,
like
right.
so that stuff gets kind of annoying. But at the same time, I kind of get it because we do. Most of us in the department kind of hold ourselves to a very high standard.
Right.
We're the like you go alpha bro show. We're the alpha male. We're the
That's right.
we're the cream of the crop, and there's all the arrogance, there's a lot of confidence, but you know that's how we got jobs done. We kind of hold each other accountable to hey, that's why we're the best.
That's right. That's right.
So, but I tell you what, man, I got a lot of respect for people I work with. A lot of us at my firehouse, a lot of young guys. Really the ones that have the most time on are captains.
Sure.
But everybody works hard. Everybody tends to look out for each other. You don't have a lot of the backstabbing. People trying to throw you under the bus, looking out for themselves. People tend to look out for each other. If
Right.
that's something that can work out in house, they tend to do that. If you have a good crew, mind
Absolutely.
you, now, like I said, I have a good crew. So, it's. I feel like I lucked out. I lucked out getting the firehouse I got.
You did. You
Yeah.
absolutely did.
So,
I feel like that I didn't even, so, because I came in the fourth. And when I
hmm
came to the first, I seen immediately a huge shift in attitude, work ethic,
right,
pride. I
right.
mean, like, and I remember guys saying, welcome to the fire department. Like, I'd been on 4 years,
Mhm.
5 years when I went to
Right,
22s. And they were
right,
like, welcome to the fire department, and I'm like, motherfucker, I got 5 years on, because I was a fucking idiot. I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
right,
And then I got it immediately. Like,
right,
guys helping each other out. I mean, like, and then we didn't sweat the stupid stuff.
right,
Like in the fourth, like just exactly what you were saying. Guys get bored, and boredom, it creates all kinds of chaos and
absolutely,
madness.
absolutely.
Did you know, man? When's the last time you seen Phil do fucking dishes, man? Phil
Right,
don't ever fucking do dishes. Travis never does fucking housework. You know what I mean?
right,
Whereas I would go, you're right, motherfuckers. I don't do housework. I told you that when I got here. You know what I mean? But that's the fourth. And
right,
the first is like, yeah, we do housework sometimes. Sometimes we don't. If something's dirty, we fucking clean it. If the garbage needs
right,
to be taken out, we take out the fucking garbage.
right,
Like, and when you live with people, especially at a double house, you're at a single house. I was a single house for a long time. But, I have been in double houses. You've been detailed double houses, I know. A lot more personalities, a lot more people's nasty shit you deal with, but you just fucking deal with it. You know what I mean?
right,
You don't cry
right,
about it.
right,
There may be more of a victim mentality, and I want to expand on this with you too. The victim mentality, not just in the fire service, but culturally.
right, right,
It, there's not as much of that in the first because, like you said, you're busy. You're making runs. You're making fires. You're
right,
doing what you want to do. You're
right.
making a difference. You know what I mean? You're feeling, you're having meaningful experiences, and
Yes,
by
some
helping people.
accomplishment. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
right,
So let's just caveat into that. Do you feel like, because me and a good buddy of mine, his son just entered the cavalry division in the Army, which is a special forces group. And he was so worried about him, and now it's like his son's like, no, Dad, this is what I meant to do. Like,
right.
this is what I'm made
Oh,
to do.
right,
And he's like, man, I never thought my son would be that way. And now he's like, it's like sometimes I don't even recognize him because he has got with a group of individuals that have a purpose. They have pride in what they do. They're training every day. They're doing stuff. When this motherfucker gets in trouble, guess what? We all fucking run.
right,
You know what I mean? So there's a bond there. But there
Yeah.
are generational differences. And I guess what I'm asking you is, being an older cat getting on the fire department, having life experience, having did 12 years in another professional service, when you say the camaraderie and stuff was kind of a letdown, do you think it's generational? Or is the victim mentality more to blame for people saying, well, that's not my emergency? You see what I'm saying?
So, I mean, when it comes to the fire department, I can't really say what the actual cause of some of it is. Like I said, it's not widespread, but I think some of it's generational. You got some older cats who are probably in their 40s. They're kind of like, hey man, I'm kind of want to do my own thing. Then you got grab another thing of cultural. It might be a cultural thing. And I don't want to. I hate using race, but black and white. You got a lot of guys on the fire department. They might grow up out in the boondocks somewhere, in the country, and they don't have the same connection with some of us guys who may grew up in the urban area. We don't have the same connection. But I do see places where that line is crossed. These guys, hey man, we're gonna go out to the woods, do some hunting, man. Come on out with us, or we're gonna go down to 4th Street Live, they hang out and we kind of get that mix. So I think some of it's just personality. Some guys just have personality like this. I've been in houses where you have a person in that house that won't talk to anybody.
Right.
And it could be a captain, it could be a sergeant, firefighter, whatever.
It could be a white guy, it could be a black guy.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not a race thing. So
right.
just some guys are introverts, some guys are
absolutely
not.
Sure.
So I mean, I hate to say it's a letdown because I don't want to say it like make it seem like everybody on the fire department is kind of like it's all about me, or I don't want to really hang out because not. I've been invited to a lot of stuff, but you get to some of the firehouses, and there's a certain reason why I see it's like from guys in the first, when they get detailed out to certain 4th district houses, or even certain houses in the 2nd district or 3rd district. I don't call it particular houses because I don't want to be that person that's calling out.
Right, for sure.
But they don't want to be at these certain houses, and some of it because it's a slower house, but it's also because of the crews at those houses. They're like, man, I go to that house, and aside from lunch and dinner, or when we go get fuel, everybody goes in their room. Everybody goes to separate ways. It's just like, man, that's just, they don't want to be like it. They don't want to be isolated, and just kind of like, we're just here because we're stuck because it's our job. So I get it. I get the idea. I get the mentality. Like I said, I'm fortunate enough to where I work with guys. I got a good crew. We all get along. We look out for each other. We try to teach each other as much as we can. I like that. That's what I was looking for. Like you said, come from EMS. You have some really good people.
Sure.
But what happens over there is, after a while, getting beat down for so many years, you can't get turned to a scab. You get turned to somebody who's disgruntled. So going back to what I said about some of the little nitpicking, complaining with bullshit stuff pisses me off. And I've had this discussion with people that's been on the fire department a year. You got guys that complain about stuff, and I'm like, the fire department's not perfect, but y'all have it fucking made. Go work EMS. Me guys said, there's no way I can work EMS. I had no way. You worked for 12 years? How'd you do it? I'm like, hey, it was steady income.
Well, now, and just to piggyback on that, I don't mean to cut you off, but when I got on, we had to ride it. Larry Likes, which I know he's in the chat. I rode with Larry several times when he was at 22s as a medic. We had to ride for 7 years, 6 years, 7 years. I don't remember. I rode for 7 years before they ended up taking it out of the fire service. So dude, trust me. So I can call motherfuckers out. So Engine 5 Tower 2, like I hear, these guys that got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years on that never rode an ambulance bitching about the med calls that they make on Engine 5. Now, I get it. No, I understand that. That sucks. But There is a motherfucker that used to ride a med unit for 12 hours in Engine 5 as a firefighter. How do you think that motherfucker felt? So the people that came before you paved the way for you to only make 10 runs. You only got out of bed four or five times that night. You know what I mean? Think about if you rode the med unit for the first 12 and you were on Engine 5 for the second 12 and fucking had to make 4 or 5 runs out of the bedroom. You see what I'm saying? So there's military, special forces, police department, the list goes on of perspective. Right?
Yes.
Like,
I use that word a lot. It's all about perspective.
It's all about perspective. And you came from the 4th. I came from the 4th. Now, and trust me, when I got to Engine 6, which I already been at 22s a year, but I didn't do a lot of 22s. It was a weird year. We didn't make a lot. We weren't first in on a lot. When I got to Engine 6, I've told the story before on the show. Bo Jordan put me on fucking notice. I was a 4th district turd to Bo Jordan. You're riding the line till further notice. That may have been the only thing the motherfucker said to me till we made our first fire. Like, I wasn't worth talking to him. And I took that personally. You know, like, okay, I got it. You know, I understand that. You know, I've been on for fucking 5 years, 4 years, whatever it was. I got no respect. I got to earn it. I'm fucking good with that. The first fire I made with Bo, we made 3 more that day. It was awesome. I mean, it really was. And then I remember the next day, I put my stuff on the line, and he come out in the bay and go. We were at Old Sixes on Portland Avenue, sitting there anymore. And he goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Putting my stuff on the line." He goes, "You're riding water to further notice." I said, "Yes, sir." You know what I mean? So that was one of the proudest days of my career. And I have the utmost respect for Bo Jordan. He was one of my best captains, my favorite captains I ever worked with. Felt like he made me a firefighter. And that was a proud day for me when I walked to the other side of that fucking apparatus, put my gear on. You know, like, I gained the respect, like, oh, he ain't just a 4th district turd. This dude's going to be okay. And I lasted another, 12, 13 years there. So, and a lot of people are like, EMS guys. I remember I'd been at Quint 10 for probably 3 years. I make runs with EMS guys, and they go, "What are you doing here? Ain't you at Engine 6?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, I've been out here for 3 years, dude." You know what I mean? But, I kind of became a staple at 6s. And, I'm proud as fuck of that. You know what I mean? But, and it's, and we had to talk about this the other day, and I may have pissed some of the older guys off, which that's fine. I don't care. When I came on the fire department, it was the same argument. And that's why I try to tell these guys. Again, perspective. When I first got in the fire department, this fire department sucks. It's too young. These motherfuckers don't know nothing about tradition. There's no camaraderie. The fire department's too young. Shit's going to burn down. Okay. 10 years on, the same argument. 20 years on, the same argument. Just the other day, the same argument. And I'm like, guys, it's cyclical. It's cyclical. I knew, like, guys like you. I had guys like you, Glenn Barr, Brandon Carney, like, all my new guys. Fucking just stellar individuals. Leslie Prather's class, Brett Weenman. All these guys, like, because I did some training with those guys. I taught a breaching class with them, Leslie Prather's class. I don't know what class it is, but they were fucking phenomenal, top to bottom. And I'm like, hey, there's 30 solid motherfuckers right here. You know what I mean? You're always going to have turds. But I had everybody today, and not one guy fucking disappointed me. And I like to feel like I keep a high bar, you know? So it's cyclical, and there's, the door's going to go up, the door's going to go down. There's always going to be great people in the fire department. And like guys like you, and I tell people this all the time, like, I feel like the mantle, it's not even like passing a mantle. It's, when I left, I knew there was good people. You you know, I feel like you're in a role now where, especially being at 17s, getting good experience behind your back, having your medical background that you do. Like, when you get a new guy, I know you're going to be like, come here, motherfucker.
Right. Right.
You're going to do what I did to you. You're going to cradle him in your little arms and go, oh, hi, little new guy. I had somebody do this for me one time. I'm going to do it for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
But nah, man, that's good shit. And I tell people, as I was doing promotional stuff for this show, I was telling people, like, even when you were new, me and you had I don't know, we had a connection. We had a commonality. You know, you were an athlete. I was an athlete. I'd made runs with you before you got on the fire department, so we knew each other, you know, in passing at least.
Exactly.
And the conversations you and I would have. And I told people, I'm like, you know, he won't be able to be on the show today as long as he wants to. It's like, but I need to have him back because he's a huge conspiracy theorist.
Oh yeah, I gotta have me on the show again. I am. And it's getting worse. I mean, it's gotten worse since I looked.
It's gotten worse.
It hasn't gotten any better.
Really?
I'm actually trying to ease up on it, man. But I keep falling down that rabbit hole. I keep getting sucked back in. You know,
man,
I still getting the.
And I told you. I think you always had the kind of the bug. I never was, and probably till the last 2 years, and now I'm like, there's something fucking to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Something's just not adding up. You know.
Well, it's just like so we'll get political for just a minute. I know you got to go in a half hour, so I want to get political right before you leave.
All right.
So so conspiracy theory. So 18 months ago, if you were one of the people that said, oh, fucking Corona came out of the goddamn Wuhan virus center. You were called a fucking conspiracy theorist, tinfoil hat, Trump supporter, racist, xenophobe,
all of that. Yep.
You were called all that.
Right.
And now we know.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's pretty fucking obvious. You've got left-wing far left as you get. Jonathan Stewart, who I really like Jonathan Stewart. I mean, I've always been a kind of a fan of his comedy. Maybe not so much his politics, but he's been a big supporter of 9/11 victims and first responders that were in the pile. He's done a lot for people in our field. So I like Jonathan Stewart. Again, I don't agree with 100% of everything he says. Now he's even saying, like, oh, it came from the fucking Wuhan Center.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's until he gets silenced, like some of these other people. I feel like they're the government and social media is working really hard to try to silence people who are trying to get information out, and they're under the guise of false information and misinformation and stuff.
Right.
So I'm going back to my whole tinfoil hat conspiracy mindset. There's a lot of weird shady stuff going on, and I feel like the more I learn, the further in the dark I feel like I am. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
The more I learn, the less I know. Really, I really wish I could be back ignorant. Saying ignorance is bliss. I wish I could kind of be like these people walking around not caring what's going on, just kind of like, I'm happy being a sheep, but I'm way past that point, unless I get lobotomized, there's no going back for me.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. No, it's that's a fact. So I was wanting to ask you, so I don't know if you've seen it or not, but a reporter was asking the Biden spokesperson, the redheaded chick, I don't know her name.
Jen Psaki.
There you go.
Jen Psaki. Yeah. What are you talking about?
They were asking her, like, when they were talking about now the White House is going to help Facebook, which apparently Biden has walked that stance back because he's got such backlash. But in this interview, like in this press conference where she was talking about it, he was like, well, wait a minute. This is a private company. People are feeling like it's kind of too big brotherish, Orwellian-ish for you all to be doing that to a private company. And she was like, I don't know. She said something about public health or something, and he goes,
I saw it.
it's free speech, and she goes,
Yep.
not in the face of a pandemic. And he was like,
Yep.
so you're saying there's no First Amendment in the era of a pandemic? And she basically said yes. And I'm like, this is the fucking White House.
There's a term that I've picked up from a lot of the podcasts that I follow.
Yeah.
The pandemic and the scandemic. And I agree with that term. I use it myself. The pandemic. That's exactly what it is. This is all a guise. This is all they're using this as a tool. Same thing I say. Go ahead and jump into that fire with race relations. It's all being used as a tool, a weapon.
Right.
And people are too naive to see that.
Right.
But there's some nefarious things going on under this guise of, we're trying to protect people. We're trying to make
Public
things
health.
better. Yeah, public health and equality. No, y'all don't care about any of that. Y'all trying to use this as a weapon. This is a weapon for you all.
Have you see? I don't know if you've seen what happened today, but they end up passing a bill. It was like $1 million educational bill, or multi-million-dollar educational bill that's helping schools deal with COVID and reopening safely with social distancing and all this stuff. There was a provision in the bill that gives money to race and emotional education. And it was found out, and people are like, what the fuck is this? And the White House is saying it was an error. Do you know who Leo Terrell is, the civil rights attorney? Black guy, Leo Terrell.
He's not the one that's doing that's not the same guy that's Crump. Now, I don't know Leo Terrell.
Leo Terrell, man, he's a trip. He was a Democrat up until about 2 years ago. Now he's a Republican. He's still a civil rights attorney, but he was like, oh, my God, they're lying. This is bullshit. They snuck it in. Now, whether it's going to go to a critical race theory or the 1619 project, whatever.
Whatever you call it, yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. What does this have to do with helping schools reopen? This is a public health bill. And they're getting money for race and emotional training or education. I forget how they worded it. But it's the left again trying to manipulate everything. I mean, let me piggyback on what you was talking about with Jen Psaki and stuff. This is going back to I guess you could say it's kind of race related, but it's more police related. Mm-hmm. So you've been keeping up with how they're trying to blame the whole defunding police on Republicans. Oh, Republicans.
And it's fun because anybody who doesn't really follow and dig deep, they're gonna believe this bullshit is fed to them.
Sure.
But Jen Psaki in that press conference, she's like, well, they were actually defunding the police because they kept trying to vote down the CARES Act or whatever.
Yes.
And that's the reason why police get the funding, blah blah. So if you actually look at what it says in the bill, it's the funding doesn't go to specifically police. It goes to what they call a COPS program, which is like citizens, civilians, or something on patrol or something like that, which is not police. It's kind of like the jurisdiction that money goes to decides on what that money goes to. And on top of that, they kept saying they defunded that, but if that caused defunding, the bill got passed, right?
Right.
The bill was passed. So what's your answer now? It's all smoke and mirrors. She is an awesome liar. She's an awesome storyteller. She's awesome at manipulation. They picked the perfect person because I guarantee people are believing everything she's saying.
Well, so I feel like I was talking about with my buddy today about that. Now that his son's in the military, like this dude was very non-political. He would watch the news, but he, in passing, he just worried about local shit, stuff like that.
Is it younger kid? Is he like teenager, like 19, 20 or something?
His son?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20.
Okay, it's funny. I think you and I talked about this, or maybe it was okay, we talked about this how it's the age tends to be what is the fact of how you gonna think politically. When I was young, I didn't give a damn about politics. People told me Democrats are great, and I just went with it.
I
Oh
did
man,
too.
Republicans are terrible. Democrats are great.
Yeah.
All right, whatever you tell me.
Republicans are out for the rich guy.
Yep.
Democrats want the wealth more spread around. Like, there's no reason Jeff Bezos should make fucking $1 billion a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck yeah, that's fucking right, man. Why am I fucking paying so much in student loans? And why am my tuition so high? And why can't
Yep.
I get $15 an hour minimum wage when I was younger? You know, just like you and I have talked about it. Life experience. And I've said this on the show several times. South Park did it the best.
Oh,
And what was so
yes.
fantastic about it, well, you're a big South Park fan, so you know.
Oh,
It was
yes.
Big Gay Al. Big Gay Al is the one that came out when the in South Park when Republicans and Democrats were killing each other. He was like, "Hey, wait a minute, we need you both."
Yep.
Democrats are optimists.
Yep.
Things can be better. Things should be more fair. Our
Yeah.
conservatives, our Republicans, they've had real world experience.
Realist.
They're realists.
Yes.
They know that it can't be a utopia because that's not human nature. Human nature will now allow a utopia. We'll always rebel against that. And you know, it's like we need each other. There's checks and balances, right? It's checks and balances.
Yep.
Do you know who Jordan Peterson is?
That name sounds familiar.
Dude, he's a lightning rod for the left right now. He's a behavioral scientist, and basically that's what he's saying. And if they ever gave him a fucking fair shake, fair opportunity, fair listening, they would realize he's not he was more left than he is now, but they would realize that he's just expressing rules and not rules. His book 12 Rules of Life is what kind of got him on the map. But he's trying to make people better human beings. It's not a left or a right thing. It's going back to what you said earlier. Guys in the firehouse. Some guys don't want to be some guys are fucking assholes no matter what, black or white.
Right.
I've met cops that were white that treated me like absolute fucking shit. And you know what? He wasn't a racist. He treated a black guy just like he treated me.
Just
he was
an
a
asshole.
fucking asshole.
Yep.
There's assholes and there's racists. I
Yeah,
believe
agree.
there's a hell of a lot more assholes than there are racists.
Thank
Am
you.
I saying there's no racists? Absolutely not. We all know that's bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like radical left, radical right. I don't agree with the radical right. I believe a woman should have a fucking choice. I want to smoke fucking weed. Weed should be fucking legalized. I fall a lot in the middle. I really do.
But you probably have the same issue. I'm sorry, I hate to cut you. I probably have the same issue that I have when it comes to trying to toe the line. It's anymore. It's impossible. You either have to be especially when you're discussing things with certain groups of people, you either full on board or you're not on board. There is no
middle ground.
There's no middle ground. There's no, well, I agree with them 70%, but 30% of this. Oh, no. What? And I can tell you from my personal experience, man, I've gotten into so many. I mean, I got people that probably won't even talk to me because what makes me so mad is I'm not the one that starts the conversation. It's always somebody that starts the conversation, want my opinion, or they bring up something political. And when I give my opinion, it's all downhill.
Right.
And when I try to throw out the facts I have, where I get my information from or whatever,
liberals hate facts.
Then it becomes, I'm sure it becomes the loudest voice. It becomes a shouting match.
Right.
It's no longer civil. It's a shouting match because they have a voice. They must be right in their mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm telling you. Dude, Phil,
hard to toe the line. It's so hard to toe the line. It
Phil,
really is.
there's a 3-hour. Joe Rogan does a 3-hour podcast with Jordan Peterson. He's done several podcasts, but I want you to listen to this one. And he talks about hierarchies and about how there's personalities that if you believe in this, then you also probably believe in these. He's a behavioral scientist, okay?
Right.
So what he's saying is that the liberals, they don't even really know what they believe. They're a mouthpiece. And when two people, left or right, I'm going to say left or right,
Get your karate uniform
when
on.
you don't realize or understand what you truly believe in, you're just a mouthpiece. You're a Trump mouthpiece. You're a Harris mouthpiece or a Biden mouthpiece.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when that happens, there's no conversation you can have
Mm-hmm.
because they'll shut down. They shut down because you
Yep.
disagree. Just exactly what you were saying. They shut down. If they can't outspeak you, yell,
Mm-hmm.
then they shut down, and
Absolutely.
there's no compromise. There's no discussion. It's
Yep.
I can't understand what you're saying. You can't understand what I'm saying. So we're at an impasse.
Yeah,
That's-
because all we're doing is yelling. At this point, we're just yelling.
you're
We're
yelling.
trying to talk over each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of the things here, and you may recognize this. You know, the Black Lives Matter movement here in Louisville, I feel like there were several missed opportunities with BLM, with our mayor, because every time they got an opportunity to confront him, where they bogarted a photo op, a press conference that he did or whatever, they didn't have anybody articulate to express in an articulate fashion their concerns with
Right.
what's going on in their community.
Right.
All they did was scream at him.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's video
Yeah.
after video of them, just people screaming in his face.
It's almost like it's all about intimidation. You know, we're gonna
Exactly.
intimidate you into folding into our will.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and that's
Doing
what
what we want to do.
happening. Yeah,
Instead
that's all
of, you know, that doesn't work, and it's obviously not working for him. He's fucking gone. He may never be another fucking politician again after what he's done here in Louisville. But I've never seen a politician hated by the right and the left more
Yeah.
than my governor, or I'm sorry, my mayor right now.
You managed to do it all in the span of a very short span. That's what makes it so baffling. You managed to
18
do it
months.
in a very short span.
Oh my God.
You know, you piss off everybody because
He's
you're
in
trying.
his second term. He got reelected. He was in his second term.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker, if there was a third term, I could run and get more votes than that motherfucker would. Like, I mean, I mean, he was a businessman. I really liked him his first term because he was a businessman. He
Mhm.
got political when he had to. Then second term, full on fucking politician. And it
Yep.
didn't fucking suit him. You know what I mean? I mean, you can argue shit like that.
It's almost like when you watch like I don't know, those shows like I don't know, Survivor or whatever, where you have to vote people off and you're making like backdoor deals. It's like you go over to one group, hey man, look, me and you, we're gonna ally together to get homeboy over here.
Alliance.
So
Yes.
you don't vote me, I don't vote you. But then you go over to the old dude, hey man, look, now we're gonna ally together, we're gonna vote him out, you don't vote me out, whatever. But
Right.
then they both find out they used to
Yes.
find against each other. That's
you
like
know-
what happened.
You know, I'm a Big Brother fan.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
know
Well,
that.
the new season of Big Brother started.
Okay.
Me and Shannon loved this guy called Frenchie. He's
Okay.
a farmer guy, blah, blah, blah. But he's super cool. You know, dude, he did exactly that. The first week in the house, he's
Really?
making deals with guys. Hey, I'm not going to put up any people of color, and I'm not going to put up any women. That's my word. My word's my bond. You know the first people he put up for eviction? A man or a woman and a black dude. And now, guess who's getting voted out tomorrow night? That motherfucker. Like,
Himself.
and then I feel like he's a Democrat. I know he's a Democrat because he talked about how his whole family was Trump supporters. He
Mhm.
wasn't. and it's caused a lot of friction. I'm telling you, and dude, look, let me tell you what. People want to talk about Trump running again. I don't want that. I do not want that. We need somebody. Biden said in his inaugural speech he was going to heal the nation. He was going to bring both sides together. He has done the same thing Trump has done. He don't have a fucking Twitter account where he bashes people. He's done just the same thing in everything else he's done. So don't mistake.
They've been trying to keep Biden under wraps for they only let him out when they think he's competent enough to talk.
Yeah. And what's funny is they keep Harris. Hey, the little cage they keep Biden in, Harris is in the corner, and Harris goes, "Oh, the cage door open." They're like, "Bitch, get back in that motherfucker." They're like, "We really fucked up by getting you in."
A lot of people think that she's the one actually pulling the strings because Biden he ain't there, man. I'm telling you.
She ain't pulling no motherfucking strings. They wouldn't even send her to the border till Trump said he was going. You know.
You see what? Speaking of that, let me jump on that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I think it's what makes me so mad when it comes to like Democrats and the left, because they're the biggest hypocrites.
Oh my God!
I've ever seen. They talk about and this even goes back to the Obama administration. Obama, people don't realize this. It was the Obama administration that originally started building like the camps and stuff for all the people coming over illegally. Right. So this time, oh man, Trump's this big racist. He's separating families, children from families, blah blah blah. This and that. He's a big racist. And then she goes down and point blank, dead stare, tells these people, "Don't come to the border. We don't want you. We would turn you back." And you know what? You could hear a pin drop because none of the Democrats could deal with her. I think it just makes me. That's what makes me so mad, and that's why I get so triggered when I start talking about stuff, because people are so quick to criticize Republicans. And I'm not by any means saying Republicans are innocent, but I feel like I have to defend Republicans to get my point across.
Right.
Where how people don't hold that other side to the same standard. Look at Biden. I said this, and I still believe it to this day. If Biden had ran as Republican and Trump ran as Democrat, Biden would be the racist.
For sure.
He would be the racist. Because Trump, look at all these African American or black, whatever you want to call it, I don't want to say the wrong word, that were all buddy with Trump before he became. You want a fun fact? You want a fun fact?
He was the NAACP Man of the Year twice.
Yeah, I remember hearing
2012, 2014. Yeah. Now he's a fucking racist.
Now he's a racist. Yeah, I mean, he was taking. Yeah, rubbing elbows, all kinds of Snoop Dogg and all these people. And
he was in every rap song.
Yeah. You have rap songs that had him that were talking about wanting to be like Trump and all that. So I think it's when people don't educate themselves to what the facts are, people are easily manipulated. That's why it kind of goes back to my conspiracy mindset. And it goes back to, I love referencing 1984. Because in 1984, one of the big priorities of the government was dumbing society down. The main character, his actual job was to basically make words smaller. That was his job. And 1984 was basically like he would, let's say we had a word like onomatopoeia or something.
Okay.
Or a phrase. His job, his career, his job was to make these words and condense them. So basically, people have less literacy. People have less thought process.
Vocabulary. They limited their vocabulary.
So I look at now. All right, I'm might cut out here soon. But we're going to do that real quick, though. You look at now, like, not even just now, but like the past probably 10, 15 years. You look at stuff that's been shown on TV. You look at our education system, especially the education system in like a lot of Democratic run cities. Like, I'm not sure to keep up Baltimore at all, but it can be something we can talk about next time I come on.
Yeah, for sure.
Baltimore's a big one. That's a big one. But you look at a lot of what's going on, a lot of misinformation, a lot of manipulation, and I feel like we are actually being dumbed down. I really do. Mm-hmm. Through various means.
Sure.
But we as society, we're being dumbed down. And I believe this whole division is orchestrated. Absolutely. They don't want us to be, I feel like, honestly, personally, I feel like behind the scenes, Democrats and Republicans they're all fucking buddy. They're all, I really do. I feel like it. They look like they hate each other when it comes to showing up
Sure.
TV.
It's like WWE.
Yes,
It's
absolutely,
like WWE.
absolutely.
Stone Cold and Undertaker, they're the main event at fucking WrestleMania.
Yep.
And fucking Stone
Macho
Cold
Man-
hit Undertaker overhead with a chair, but that night they're out drinking beer together. You know what I mean?
Let's go old school. Macho Man and not Stone Cold, the Hulk Hogan. They were big fucking buddies.
Yes.
They were big
They
buddies.
were boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when they were in the ring, man, they were. It was.
Well,
heated.
what happened was Hulk became a superstar. Macho Man rode Hulk's coattails. Not saying Macho Man wouldn't have been a superstar. I'm not saying that for other Macho Man fans. I am. And
Right.
he became a
He's Macho
superstar, and they said, holy shit, money ticket right here. These two motherfuckers main event. Everybody would have fucking went after that. You know what I mean? They did. You know what I mean? But you're exactly right. There's a lot. This is a fucking onion. This conversation is an onion. We just peel back fucking layers all the time. Before you get out of here, I want your take on this. This blows my mind. And for any liberal that's fucking listening, if you have an argument, I want to hear it. I really, really do. I have you on the motherfucking show. If you can give your argument in an intelligent way.
Exactly, respectful one, right?
Cuba.
Oh yeah, Cuba.
We had our White House when BLM were burning down fucking democratic cities across the country in a pandemic. You can't mass gather. If you're going to have people at your house, they got to be 10 people or less. If you're protesting, 100 people or less.
Yep.
Okay? That's permitted because this is more important than public health.
Yep.
Okay? The message that BLM, the protesters were given. Okay? Cuba, communist fucking dictatorship. People are wanting freedom.
Yep.
Our White House comes out and tells the Cuban fucking protesters to stop protesting.
Yep.
I'll
tell you another thing that irritates me about the whole thing is we have people in our own political government like AOC and stuff saying, well, they're protesting because they don't have anything because of the embargo.
They're gonna lift the embargo.
Here's the big thing people fail to realize: an embargo is not a blockade. They're trying to paint this as the embargo is a blockade. It's not. The embargo is just basically we're not going to do trades with you. We're not going to do. But it's not even on everything. From my understanding, I could be wrong. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. They can still get things like medicine and certain vital things from America, but it's like we're not going to be trading like alcohol and Cuban cigars and stuff like that, bread. But it's not the same thing.
They had a refugee on one of the news channels the other day, and they asked him about the embargo being lifted. Like, will that subside tensions in Cuba? And he was like, no.
I might have seen the same guy. Was it an older guy?
I'll tell you his name.
Was it an older guy?
Yes.
I believe I seen that interview.
His name was like Domenico. Like, he had an awesome name. Okay.
I don't remember the guy's name. I remember I watched the interview they did he was an older gentleman. He probably came back in like the 80s.
Yes.
When
he was a refugee.
When Fidel let all the people out.
It might have been him. I might be getting the name wrong because I'm shitty with names. But he was lifting an embargo does nothing. He goes, people like that sell bread, that sell fish, that do like our free enterprise, our industry, our business, our small business, they still can't get anything from the government because the government, you lift the embargo, you know who benefits? Our communist government, not the people. Because they're still going to control what you get.
Thank you.
And it's like, oh my God. So why are people, I don't understand. Like, for me, if I'm a Democrat, if I'm a liberal, and I hear this, people, those protesters they ain't turning away from the American flag. They're not burning the American flag.
Yeah.
They're racing that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And they're chanting Libertad. That is fucking freedom.
And I feel I pray for them, and I feel
Yeah.
really,
Oh my
really
God.
sorry for them because they couldn't have picked the worst time. They couldn't have picked the worst time to decide they want to.
That's
And,
true.
and, and,
But let me
and
but
I'm
let me
sure
tell you
it's not
this,
by choice.
Phil. This is how I feel about it. Now I'm gonna go conspiracy for just a second.
Mhm.
The reason we're not in Cuba, yeah.
Okay, we about to go. I'm
The
sorry. Go
reason
ahead.
we're
Give me
not
a
the reason we're not in Cuba, the reason we're not in Venezuela is because there's no benefit to us. There's no oil, there's no
I can see
diamonds, there's no raw materials.
Yeah.
Because
That's why we're not getting involved in a lot of shit that's going on in Africa. You know,
right.
you look at like all these conflicts that's been happening in Africa
in the
for
Congo
decades,
for years.
and we're not getting involved. And everybody's like, "Well, they got diamonds," but you know, America, I'm like, we have a vast diamond mine up in Alaska. We don't care about diamonds. You know, we don't need that. You know, so I'm like, this really all about humanitarian and all this. That's a load of bullshit. Same thing I said about this whole we got to lock everybody down to protect them because of the pandemic. It's a load of bullshit.
It's a
It
little
doesn't do with
bullshit.
humanitarianism.
Phil,
Absolutely.
Phil,
Yeah.
dude, you're coming back on. We're gonna fucking go at this hardcore next time.
Oh yeah, we got to.
Dude, all the chat, I've been getting text messages like, dude, you gotta have this guy back on, blah blah blah. So you gotta be back on. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I know you got shit going on.
There's a lot more that I feel like we definitely got to hit on.
Oh, for sure.
We got to be able to scratch the surface on it, you know. So, oh yeah, I'm pumped,
love
man.
it.
I appreciate you having me. Thanks a
All
lot
right,
for having
man.
me.
No, thank you, man. You're my guest.
Everybody
I appreciate it.
Everybody
I'm gonna get.
man, just feel free to pass me the message on if you have any questions or whatever.
Yes.
I'm an open book, man. You know I'm an open book.
I know you are, brother. I know you are. Hey, man, get out of here. Hey, take your kid to karate. I'll have you back on next week if you want to be.
All right. Sounds good, man.
See
You take
brother.
it easy, man. See y'all later.
Hey, guys. Hey. Was he? Oh, shit. All right, hold on. I got to fucking fix this shit real quick. What the fuck? All right, hold on. You guys, you motherfuckers stand tight. You guys, you just stand tight for a second. The B to the motherfucking 3 will fix this shit. Hold on. Just relax. You guys are already tripping. Oop. We don't want that. That's fucking terrible. Oh, yeah, that's the motherfucker right there. Whoop. All right, so with Phil. Yeah, Phil, I told you motherfuckers that he was the shit. Told you he was. He is. And what makes Phil so great is his perspective on things. And I've had some text messages since we went live, and they're like, "Oh man, dude, this guy," and I'm like, "Yeah, no shit." That's why I told you guys. I told you I was gonna have a guest on that is intelligent. He's articulate. You can't see me? Can you see me now? You should be able to see me now. Can y'all not see me? You should be able to see me. Never mind. Okay. All right. Never mind. Audrey said never mind. Yeah. So yeah, I told you he was going to be fucking great. He is. And it's a perspective that I don't have. Okay. I'm not black. I know I'm black from the waist down. I know that, but not a lot of people do. I know I like rap music. Doesn't make me black. I wish it did. It doesn't. If I had a fucking choice, I'd be fucking black. Trust me. Phil gives me a perspective, and he always has. If they come past the house, they usually blow the horn. Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. So Phil's perspective, I fucking love it. And Phil has made me reconsider different things. And we didn't get into that tonight because we were on the same page. But there's times we aren't, and you guys will see that. And I'll have Phil on. If he wants to be on next week, I'll have him on next week. But he's fantastic, and I love him. He's a fucking good dude, man. And just to piggyback on what we were saying earlier about people, I know a lot of people want to think that all people, or I'm sorry, some people are racist. I'm not going to say white, black, Asian, because guess what? There's racist people in all those groups. It's human nature. There's no getting around it. I don't give a shit how fucking liberal you are. You're never going to get rid of that. But what we can do is hope to make it fucking better. It's better than it was in the 50s. It's better than it was in the 60s. It's better than it was in the 70s. It's better than it was in the 80s. And it's just going to, there's a progression of things. So, and I'm all fucking for it. I'm all fucking for it. And if you could tell fucking anything from this podcast tonight, it's I love that motherfucker I just had on. I don't give a shit if a motherfucker was Asian, if he had a fucking vagina, a fucking vestigial tail in the back of his ass. I give a shit about any of that. He's a good fucking person. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters, guys. You know, I feel like what I said earlier holds true. You have assholes and you have fucking racists. An asshole treats a black dude just like he treats a white dude. He's a fucking cocksucker. We've all met him. We've all met him. Okay? A racist treats a black guy like a cocksucker. And whether I'm a cocksucker to him or not, he treats me the same. We've all seen the difference. Don't be fucking stupid. Okay? Use your goddamn head when it comes to this shit. How about those wildfires out west making the sky hazy around here? Yeah, well, fucking somebody's put some bitch out. Don't make B2-3 come out of retirement. No, fuck that. Wildland firefighting? No, sir. Like, wildland firefighting is a different animal. And I know they'll say the same thing about interior structure firefighting. Like, no, sir, not me. Well, I'm telling you what, these wildland guys, if you don't understand how their operation works, those guys digging backfire or back trenches to keep fire from jumping, that is fucking work. Like post hole diggers, ditch diggers, nah, dude, you don't even compare to these guys. These guys are, I wish Josh was on, because Josh was a wildland guy before he got on Louisville. That is fucking work, man. So, hey, my heart goes out to all the people in California out west that fight these wildfires all the time. So, hey, guys, really glad. What's the biggest difference? Honestly, I don't know, other than a large area as opposed to a house. Well, just what I said. So, like, what happens is so people don't understand how wildfires, how fast they are. Okay, you ever seen a squirrel? Motherfuckers are fast, right? My dog's super fast. She could only catch a squirrel when they fuck with her. Like, look at this dog. Oh shit, this dog's fast. Oh fuck. She still can't catch them. Okay, squirrels are lightning fast. Deer. You ever hunt a deer? You ever seen a deer run? It's pretty goddamn fast. Pretty quick. Wildland fires, they catch squirrels, deer, birds. That's how fast, when it's so dry and oxygen deprived, this fucking fire will fucking catch and spread. It's almost like backdraft-ish, okay? So that's what people will never understand about wildland fires, is how fast they move. Hundreds of feet a second. I mean, it's unfathomable. Watch a video. I mean, I'm sure there's videos on YouTube. So the difference is how you have to fight that. You know, in an interior structure fire, I know it's upstairs. I can see it blowing out the second story window on the left side. If I find a stairwell or I go through a window on the, one side and it's on 3 sides, blah, blah, blah. Like, so I have a strategy for it, right? Wildland fires are so unpredictable. And the diggers, the ditch diggers, that dig the big trenches that keep it from fucking coming over. I mean, and I'm not talking about digging just a trench. They're cutting down trees, because if there's a fucking tree next to your trench and it catches the fucking tree, your trench was fucking useless. So, I mean, these guys are cutting down trees. They're digging big, huge trenches out of dirt. I mean, work. I mean, and it's, like, so an interior structure fire, most interior structure fires are put out in minutes. And when I say minutes, if I'm internally fighting a structure fire for 15 minutes plus, I'm getting my ass kicked. Like, probably going to lose. Every once in a while, you get a win. If you ain't getting it in under 15 minutes, you're fucked. Maybe less than that. I don't even know what the number is on that. I'm just going off experience. Okay? A fucking wildland fire, dude, they're fucking working their dicks in the dirt for several minutes, if not an hour or more. Okay, now granted, they're several miles ahead of where the fire is coming to get ahead of it, and they've got this shit down to a science. And the chemicals they drop from the air and everything, it's just a entirely different fucking ball game. Like, wildland firefighting, structural firefighting, it's not even close. I mean, to me, it's not even close. I have no fucking experience in it. Like, again, Josh would be the best guy to have on here to talk about that, because, I mean, that's just, I'm telling you what, man, those guys are badass. And smoke jumpers, so what smoke jumpers do, Google smoke jumper. These guys have a lot of knowledge of the area and the terrain. Okay, a lot of them were like forest rangers and shit before they get on. That's what they would like to have, because you have such knowledge of the terrain. And what they do is they parachute in. They parachute in. And it's actual, like, they're doing reconnaissance, like wind direction, stuff like that. Because, one man can't do a lot, but knowing the direction and pattern, winds moving, winds shifting, where is the driest brush at? Like, these smoke jumpers, they do all that. And I mean, dude, Google the life expectancy of a smoke jumper. It ain't long. It ain't long. Them dudes are fucking nuts, crazy. So, and that's one of the reasons that there's very few of them, is because they don't put just anybody in those positions. Like, you're a badass motherfucker. That made some movies. Probably not that accurate of movies, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it. But, yeah, so, yeah, smoke jumpers. Wow, that's crazy. In your opinion, do you think they can't get it under control then? Well, it's nature. No. What can control nature? Nothing. Nothing controls nature. It's kind of like Jordan in the playoffs. You can't hold him. You can only hope to contain him. Like, he's going to get 30. You make sure you don't get 40. You make sure you don't get 50. You try to make sure you don't win the game. But he's going to be a fucking all-star against you. Same way with wildfires. There's no, all the prevention and stuff. And prevention has gotten better with, education. Hey, it's dry. They have alerts now. Like, don't throw your fucking cigarette. Dude, a cigarette butt in California, fucking California, right? Shit show California, which actually could probably all burn. I really wouldn't care. Well, now the Raiders are out of Las Vegas, or they're in Las Vegas and out of California. Yeah, you can burn it. You're smoking a cigarette, fucking flick it out. You could fucking start goddamn World War III with fucking a forest fire. So, and there's alerts everywhere, and they're on the radio, and they're on the TV. Like, don't be doing this dumb shit, because you could ignite a forest fire. I mean, last year, I mean, look at, the houses that burned in Malibu. Multi-million-dollar houses. Motherfuckers was getting out of Dodge because they were going to burn, and some of them did burn. Good point. Can't wait for the new Space Jam. Yeah, well, I won't watch anything LeBron James does. He can suck a dick. Anybody that puts a police officer on blast that saved a life, he can suck my dick. I used to like LeBron. I thought for several years he did a great job of managing the spotlight, and then he got woke. That motherfucker ain't never been oppressed. He's been a goddamn all-star coddled athlete since he was fucking 15 years old. I don't want to fucking hear it. Not you. You're not the one that fucking spread the message. I know, I get it. Athletes have platforms. I understand that. I really do. But, you post a police officer's picture on your Twitter page, and then all your caption is "you're next," and he saved a woman's life. Like, fuck off, dude. Eat a dick. I'll root against him. I don't give a shit. He's playing the Washington Generals. I don't give a shit. I will root for the fucking Washington Generals. I'll put money on the fucking Washington Generals. So, guys, thank you so much for sticking with me. I'm going to have fucking Phil back on. As you can see, he's a fantastic conversationalist. He's well-versed, well-spoken. Told you he would be. I knew he wouldn't disappoint, and he didn't. And we'll get back at it. We'll get back at it. And if you have any questions that you would like Phil and I to field next show, please send them. Instant message me, email me. I know Debo put in a bunch of links in the comments. We'll take on fucking anything. Anything you want to take on, he and I will we'll take it on. So, and we look forward to that. We really do. We really do want to spark the conversation. And again, I think with Phil and his background, it's peanut butter and fucking jelly, guys. So let's take advantage of this. And, if Phil wants to be a mainstay, he's going to be a mainstay, because I knew he'd be great, and he was, and I want more of it. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Next week, Tuesday or Thursday, whatever Phil can do is what we're going to do. So just be following the social media post, and I'll find out what day he can do, and I'll put it out there. I'm trying to get it out as early as I can. He was a little late, and then it still ended up changing, right? So keep following social media, because I changed it from 6 to 5:30 because he has something going on. But we'll figure it all out. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much. Please stay safe, and remember, always, always, always strive to be alpha. Peace.